with us for the first time at a meeting, what we like to do as everybody's getting settled is we go over kind of last week's business and see where it came from. So in the last week, Holly, is Holly in here? Nope. We're going to see where some of this business came from. Sai in here? Nope. Anybody working with Sai as a TC? How about Mai Zhang? Nope. How about Jessica Cole? You guys know, is Jessica on your team? I mean, are you working with her on these, right? So, Woodgate, where did she get it?
I believe it was Spear.
Spear, okay. Oh, the TC knows, but not the team leader. Okay, we're going to talk about this. All right, Sphere of Influence. Stephanie Arneson. Where'd you get it?
What is it?
That's right, you can't see back there. This would be the one on 140th.
Yeah, I can't see it. That's Roger Anderson New Construction.
Okay, so Stephanie repping a builder. How many people rep builders right now in the room? How many would like to rep a builder in the room? We have multiple builders in here. Some of them are ramping up, by the way, and want to build out teams and that stuff. So on the Facebook page, you guys, if you are interested in new construction, throw that out there that you're looking for an opportunity there. All right. On to the buyer side of things. Okay. Buyers. Angela Christensen, you in the room? Nope, I don't hear her.
I don't hear you.
Yep.
She's kind of quiet.
Beth Merwin, not here. Griselle, not here. We'll fly through these. Rachel Pope, not here. You guys working with Rachel?
Not on this one.
On this one? Okay. Mark Ronsky, not here. Cy Vang, again, not here. Where is everybody? Alex is not here. Year's not here. Prudy, we see Prudy? Nope. Oh, Prudy, yep, I thought I saw you.
Personal referral from a past client.
How are you staying in contact?
I do the old-fashioned way. Call, stop in, say hi.
Do we have a system for that? Are we doing a certain amount a month, a certain amount a day? Are you systematic about it, or just kind of
Random.
random? Gotcha. That's honesty right there. Tim's not in, but do you guys know where Tim got this one?
It's Spear.
Spear. This one, interesting buyer's agent on this one.
There isn't one.
Yeah. So I don't know who's got that one.
What?
All right. Never see that before. Okay, we're going to move forward, and where's the, so Jessica's not in here, event page, tabs, you in here? Deborah? Yeah. Want to bump that up? Okay. Event page, I'll get that rolling as I pull up the next stuff here. We got lots of events coming up, guys.
It's awesome.
All right, so moving forward, we got a few new faces in the room. If you are new to us recently, can you please raise your hand? All right, what? Get that in. No, you're reintegrated. Okay, raise your hand, please. Who's new? Okay, let's start here.
I'm Justin. I'm just started yesterday, and I am the loan officer with
Did you lose a bet? No, I didn't. Just a little nervous. No, welcome, Justin. So, yeah, part of Jamie's team. As we grow here and our volume grows, Amic does just a ton of stuff. So they're adding team members on. So just so you know, I mean, I think Andy Lamont was where's Andy at?
Right
so yeah, right next to him, of course. Super noticeable guy, very noticeable man. This gentleman. I think Andy was here 6 months, and people are like, who's this guy? I mean, so it's definitely get to know your lenders in here. Okay, we also had.
Nolan McManus. I was with Remax for 2 years, and I decided to make a change.
Were you have you just been you've been licensed 2 years in, or
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So you're new. You like the business?
Yeah, I like
You loving it?
Yeah. It's
Good. Good to hear. Welcome, Nolan. And we want to do an introduction here too.
Okay, I'm Patty Hefner. I am actually a new closer with Liberty Title. Been in the real estate business for 17 years, so I bring a little bit of the real estate element to the closing side.
So she's the
I
one
will
you
be
yell at
here.
when your files are going
Yeah.
south. Never mind. Another one in the room that's not new to us, but is other than seeing on a Facebook picture in Jamaica sometime, is this gentleman back here. But
Hello, everybody.
so Ryan, you want to talk a little bit about you?
Yeah, Ryan Sinkle, RC Fields Home Inspections. I've worked with a handful of you in here over the years. Been around for a little while, and I do have an office right out here.
Yep, it's got cobwebs in it.
Maybe see me in there.
We're gonna get a cardboard cutout of him
Yeah,
eventually.
It's on order, actually.
Yeah,
But
right.
I see Tabitha in there.
Mhm.
That's the only reason there's no cobwebs in it at the
I
moment.
would like to introduce Wanda.
Yes.
Actually, new member of my team. Been with me now for a few months, and she's our coordinator. She handles all the incoming calls, does all the scheduling, the booking, coordinates everything for us. So anytime you guys need anything, this is your go-to.
So what we do with Ryan is Ryan also helps us a couple times a year going through home inspections, best practices.
And I was just gonna bring that up. I would love to set one of those up here for when
We're about due.
Yes.
So what we do is we go through, he does an inspection live with us, points out the things that he's seeing. We help kind of give the messaging for your buyers, to keep things calm. Ryan and his company are very good at keeping people calm. We've had other inspectors in here, I will not name their names, that come up with 700 different items on there, and every single one of them says sky is falling. That's been a problem. So we want to make sure that inspectors are honest. We don't want dishonest, but we want people that can relay information in a way that doesn't just blow deals up. So Ryan's been very good with that. Anybody else new to us here? Yes, Susanna. So Anna, who I'm still mad at, is going to be taking a little bit of a leave, well, for motherly purposes, coming up very soon. Selfish woman back there. And Susanna will be coming aboard the Agent Services team. So for everybody that can't see her right now, can you raise her hand one more time? Susanna just started with us. Let's make sure she stays at least today, guys. So best behavior, please. So welcome, Susanna.
Already blew that.
Yeah, Tom's already messed that one up. All right. Facebook events. What do we got here? Okay, so this Thursday, we're having an event with our accountant, our CPA. We're doing a class on real estate taxation, both from the investor standpoint, all the different advanced reasons why people do investment real estate, as well as on the real estate side of things for you as a practitioner, thinking about items like, should I become an S Corp or should I stay 1099? So they're going to go through the advantages of that. I'm working out a rate with him. He doesn't know this yet, but I'm working out a rate with him before he comes in, that if people are going to sign up with him to do an S Corp formation, I want to get you guys a special advantage.
Mike, will that be streamed for the other offices to watch as well, or is it just?
It's going to be for everybody else but blocking you, so you got to show up. That's what we decided. No.
I've got it on my calendar.
Everybody's gonna have access to it from all over. So yes, we will stream it. All right. Lead team call. We are gonna pick up the frequency of these. For those on the lead team, we have bought a lot more leads now. So managing those leads and the efficiency thereof, we are gonna be on the phone at least twice a month. Okay. Also, what date is this? So the lead team call is going to be.
Same day.
Gotcha. It's right there, isn't it? Thank you. Also, team leader meeting. We are going to do a team leader meeting, kind of a breakout session on that. So if you are not a team leader, don't worry about coming. If you are a team leader, you should be there. We're going to be going through quite a bit of stuff at that meeting.
Is there a 10 o'clock on that day too? Like usual on a Tuesday?
Yes. Okay. North Star Rules and Regulations class. Yes, I know, guys, we have rules and regulations with North Star, and we do have fines going out in here because people don't always adhere to those rules. We tried to negotiate on your behalf when a fine comes in, trying to lower it or get it deleted. Sometimes they won't do that for you, but you should really know what those MLS rules are. One thing, one of the reasons we always want to make sure we're doing the editing on North Star for you is we've seen people do innocent mistakes like great family home. Does anybody know why that's a bad thing to do? Do we not like families in here? Right, fair housing, right? You don't realize that you're actually in violation saying something like that. So, for us, we got our own compliance piece with that, but the North Star rules themselves should be really good to know.
Mike, is there a new Hugh at all? Somebody who represents them?
I don't think there'll ever be a new Hugh.
Well,
There is.
There'll
Who's
be another
Jessica?
Hugh.
What's her name again? He was one of a kind.
Yep.
I haven't had one specific.
We haven't had a specific cause, I guess, but there is one. I just don't know their name. So Teresa Cleveland from Liberty. I don't know if you know Teresa. We're just in Inman with her. She's great. She's gonna be coming in and doing a class on time blocking, which is February 8th. It looks like. Now you guys all know you can find these events later, right? You don't have to worry about writing them all down now. You know where to find them. Anybody not know where to find them? Colleen, the person that's been here for like 18 months. Okay, so
I'm just doing it for somebody who doesn't.
I got you. Okay, you're taking the arrow. All right, so Tabitha, where do we find them?
Once you go into the Facebook group, you just hit the events. Otherwise, you can, when you're on your own personal profile, you can hit events as well. So either way, in the group or on your own profile.
So we've got on the 21st free education for CEs, and that's going to be going green. And then we got 10 most common home defects. So Ryan, you should be teaching one of these classes. You know, just going to let you know. Then on February 28th, we got Home Partners of America. Who does not know Home Partners in here, in this room right now? Who does not? The only guy that doesn't is the title guy, so he's cool. So if you're all familiar with Home Partners, they're doing a class in here. Who has worked with Home Partners in closed transactions, by the way? Okay, we've done quite a few in the office, but it's very niche related. People that don't know it well don't really think about it or go for it. If you don't know it well, think about coming to that class because you're probably missing opportunity. All right. Next on my list. So we're going to be kind of unpacking some of the things that we discovered at Inman. One thing that we saw out there, and we always talk about agent safety, right? Does everybody understand that there's a risk when you're going out and meeting somebody that you don't know? I mean, that's a pretty obvious statement, right? And, you know, for the most part, in the history of our industry, people have been by referral. That's where most people fall in, is referred business. So you have less of a risk, but over the last many years, lead generation has taken off so much, and it will continue to do so. With that lead generation, you're in a situation where you got to go meet some person you never met before. So let's talk about best practices with that, and we're going to be kind of unpacking that as we go and putting that into our ICA agreement that we're in policy manual. We are suggesting you guys adhere to certain safety rules. We can't force you to as independent contractors, but we want you guys to be aware of some of the things to do. One of the great apps that's out there right now is TrustStamp. Who's heard of TrustStamp? Okay. Who has not heard of TrustStamp? Is that everybody, right? Who's not going to raise their hand no matter what I say? Yes, we got about 5 of those too. All right. TrustStamp is it's kind of a big brother program. Actually freaked out half the people in Inman. They walked out of the room out of anger. That's how, I mean, if you ever seen the movie Minority Report, that's kind of what it is. So what you're able to do is walk up to somebody, take a picture, and it's going to pull public record data instantly on them. Everything from criminal records to financial history to you name it. What's that? Tom, you're in trouble. You're screwed, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, don't go anywhere at this point. Yeah.
Not the buy side.
Right. So it's going to let you know.
Faces in the room probably have to go. Yeah.
So it's going to let you know really who you're dealing with. Okay, which we've talked about this. Long and I talked about this 2 years ago. That there's going to be technology I think developed to help with this. TrustStamp is one of those. Another one out there, and I don't know much about it, is ForeWarn, that you can look into. So if you're worried about safety, then that's something you might check out. In other words, if you ever have to go meet Balzer somewhere in private, don't put them on TrustStamp. You're going to freak out.
So this is facial recognition software?
Yes.
Is that what they're looking
Yes.
Hey Mike, do you want me to give a little bit more of a high end on that or no?
Go for it.
Okay, so what TrustStamp is a free product through NAR that what it does is it uses facial recognition, like Mike said, to then use metadata just
You
like
like
the
to repeat
government
what I say.
collects.
You just sound
What I like to do is improve upon what Mike says.
Right.
I'm translating. What it does is it uses metadata.
Dumber words.
What it does, metadata is not a dumber word. You can't dumb it down. Okay, so it takes all data sources that are available in public domain to ascertain if you are one of 3 threat levels. Either green, which is no threat, orange, which means it found something that could could potentially be an issue, and then red, which means you have something in your public record that is to be of a warning to people. That is one thing that it does.
Bolter has like 26 different color hues on his profile, so.
The next thing that it does is that they're incorporating software into their algorithm that allows that facial recognition to go through all public records to ascertain when something happens, to basically create leads out of people for long-term nurture based on facial recognition software. So,
is that enough info, or do you guys want to go deeper?
No. Does it have to be like face to face, or if
Yeah,
you
so-
have a picture?
So what you do with your buyers is you walk up to them and be like, hey, let's take a selfie together, and you do one of those.
And so what if they're red?
What's that?
What if they?
Well, then you have to make a decision. You know, I mean, if somebody had a criminal record because they got a DUI, that might be different than somebody that's got a violent criminal history, right? So I mean, you have to make those decisions.
Do you have to disclose that you're taking a picture and
You know,
looking into that, or what?
This is the thing. I don't think you need to disclose anything to take people's pictures. To use them in terms of marketing and stuff like that, you might need an agreement. But for taking pictures, yeah, I could take pictures all day long. Otherwise, paparazzi, I'll be in jail. So you're good there. Okay, next. So we are partnering right now. We don't have a ton of info. We're just getting this set up right now. For those that like to use commission advance companies, does everybody love paying like 25% to commission advance companies? Is that just such a cool number with you?
No.
Probably not, right? We are partnering right now with one that I believe is 14%. And the reason we're able to do this is because we're coming in under a brokerage account and getting that discount for you. So you got to work through us to do it. But we've got a number of people that like to do commission advances in here, and for different reasons. Not always where they can't pay their bills. Some people just like the consistency of being paid every couple weeks rather than having the highs and lows. So if you are one of those people that likes to do advances, we've got a better solution perhaps right now at a cheaper price. And details will be rolled out then maybe a week from now, do you think?
Yeah, really to add to the reason what 14% versus 25% is all brokerage, we have high producing agent. So their write-off is less. So they know that if you want deal fall through, if you're doing 8 or 12 or 15 a year, you can have another deal for them to come through. That's why it's only 14%, otherwise 25%. But what he shared with me, which was really interesting, I thought only people who are struggling that do commission advances, it's actually not. People like to spread out their bill. So they're like, you know what, every month I'm gonna do a commission advance, every month, because I know I have deals coming through. And then especially in our model at 100%, you have the margin to do so. So at 14%, that's what you would give up to them to get an advance on your commission. So you can easily set up where every month you get $8,000 advance to you, right? Because you've always got a deal in the pipeline. So they said actually that's the opposite of what we thought. We thought only people who are struggling that do the commission advance, actually people who are very productive that do commission advance. So just heads up on that, but more detail.
Yep, more details coming on that. I think we'll have it set up within a week. All right, so that being said, speaking of commissions, so our 100% plus, how many people in the room right now think they'll do more than 20 transactions this year? I would love to see more hands
People's
in
hands
that.
up.
Yes,
Come
yes.
on, yeah,
Come on. Let's not go for 4 transactions in a year, guys. We can do more than that, right? So let me explain our profit sharing solution. All right, everybody, this is going to be a little complex, so we're going to need 100% of your attention here. At 100%, if I say you're getting 100% plus, people look at me and go, well, how do you do that? Because if you're collecting 100%, where's the money coming from? The way it works is like this. If you prepay $495, if you prepay for your first 20, anytime in the year, if you said right now, I want to join the 100% plus program, we run it on a calendar year. So what is today's date? The 30th, right? Of January. So it'd be January 30th through January 30th. You do your 20 transactions, you pay us for those 20, it equals $9,900. Now what happens, every time you sell a house, you're collecting $495 from who? Client. You're reimbursing yourself, because then we don't take that $495. You're reimbursing yourself $495 times 20. Your first 20 transactions, you're reimbursed all of your money. Then on transaction number 21, we keep only $100. For those I can't see over there, what am I doing? Hold on. Then what we do is on 21, we keep $100. You keep $395. We keep $100 to ourselves for admin processing, all that kind of good stuff. And you keep $395 of that. So for people that were doing this last year that sold 40 transactions, do 20, because at 21 through 40, 20 transactions, they hit $395. So they made almost $10,000. The biggest one we had was $12,000 in additional money above the 100% commission. Why do we do that? Because I'll be honest with you, we take the money and we use that money and invest it and do things like hire people and buy things for you guys. And then what we're able to do is give you profit sharing on everything above 20 deals for that whole year. Now, it gets really good when you're a team. When you're a team, one person, your team leader, pays for their 20 at $9,900. Every single team member of yours, don't laugh at my handwriting, I see you. Every single team member at that point does not have to sell 20 transactions. They don't have to pay any money. Everybody on your team, once they've hit 10 transactions, we cap them right there. On their 11th transaction, you, the team leader, get $395. You yourself, on your transactions above 20, collects $395. When you've got a group like Pinnacle with 30 agents, imagine how much money is shared back with them in profit sharing. It's a lot. So for you guys that are going to do 20 or more, even if you think I'm going to be on the borderline of that, when you invest in this, you're going to push because you're getting additional money. What could 6, 7, 8 grand of money above your 100%, what could that buy you in terms of lead generation? What could that buy you in terms of transaction coordinators? You can zero base your entire business this way. Okay. Any questions on that? No. We don't see enough of it. We've got probably 7, 8 candidates out of more than 25 that are doing this. And you guys, I'm telling you, you could zero base your business, you could run a lot of your marketing and create more opportunity with this money. So, that being said, if you have more additional questions, please grab me after the meeting and we can talk about it. All right, who loves being on camera? Like you just can't wait to do videos of yourself? Yeah, exactly. These two actually do. They do. It's like, yeah, it's like watching the Muppets with these guys. So here's the thing. We are going to be launching our media room. And Hunter, when's that going to be ready, you think?
I think that as long as the orders get in this week, we should have a media room up and running by the end of next week or early the week after.
High level photography, a full media room that you can do everything from marketing, canned responses to leads, geo-farming stuff, things for video blogging, love letters for your buyers, love letters / I don't want to say love videos, that always comes out so wrong. The love letter video version. Let's call it that way, okay?
Because that sounds so much better.
Yeah, I need something better than, yes, you're right. I need to work on that. Okay. By the way, Mark Horansky's not here right now, attributes that love letter video as one of the reasons he won a multiple offer last night. Our multiple offers, we're above 90% win ratio on every single one I hear about. People are winning multiple offers with our formula at 90% plus, and they're not always the highest offer. Who has not done our multiple offer training yet?
Say it again.
Who has not done our multiple offer training? You guys really want to do it. And we got sort of the diagram drawn out on Facebook. Tabs or Anna, whoever, I guess it'd be Anna in this case. Those 3 ladies that raised their hand, you definitely want to get them a copy of the multiple offer cheat sheet.
Who was it again?
So we got Jessica and Julie. Well, Julie, I think you didn't walk in when we did the introduction, so let's introduce Julie too. We'll let her tell her story here. Oh, you did? Okay. We like to do it 3 times because I never remember the first one.
You weren't here last week.
That's why. Yep.
I'm Julie Betzler. I came over from Keller Williams in Otsego. I was with them for about 7 years, been licensed for about 20 with a variety of background, commercial property management, back office work, and salesperson.
And you still like your life after 20 years in the industry, huh? Imagine that. So the media room, that's coming, that's up and running. So I'm telling you guys, if you're not dialed in with the media room, I'm gonna say this right now. Do you know the largest amount of time spent online what people are doing?
Watching video.
They're watching video. Okay, YouTube, second largest search engine under Google. Facebook, third, and all video driven. If you're not doing video right now, you're missing the boat. And by the way, why do you think that people don't do video? I just posed the question, or posed the question right when we had started talking about this topic. Number one reason why people don't like doing video.
You have a face for radio?
Yeah, because you got a face for radio in your mind, right? So,
Doesn't stop you.
yeah, but here's the thing, guys. You don't like the way you look or sound on video. Here's the dilemma. It's how you look and sound. People see it anyway. It just is what it is. So throw it out there.
Be real, be authentic, right?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Own it. All right. So, yes, guys, don't be afraid of the camera, because those things. Get outside of your own head, launch it out there. Open house signs. We need our open house signs back. You know, I love having open house signs. If I'm an agent, you don't have to buy your own. That's great. Problem is, when you're driving around for 2 weeks with them in your trunk, nobody else can do open houses. So please return those. Another thing we're seeing a lot of as a problem right now is people not giving clear instruction to their buyer's agents. When we have a listing in-house here and somebody sells it, we're not giving clear instruction to the buyer's agent how to send earnest money in. So we're getting a lot of people with no real forward thinking. You know, here's a check for $1,000. No property address, no way to identify who it's from, can't even track down the agent half the time. So we just get these checks showing up for $1,000 from so-and-so. No idea where to put them. So please give really clear instruction to your cooperative party. So, also, we have a third transaction coordinator starting. We are really ramping up with our transaction coordinators. Elijah and Claudia are back there in the cave. We give them a little bit of light and 1 meal a day. And what we need is we're getting one more on. And when does Josie start? Next week. So we're going to have a third on there, so you'll see them. We need to pick our office for these guys. So, another dilemma, right? Okay, speaking of growth and expansion, Forest Lake is opening. I'm sure, Bruce, you guys are pretty happy about that, right?
Very happy.
Forest Lake will be open. We're officially kind of opening next week. All the furniture is being delivered over there. Everything's ready to go. How many people in the room will be officing out of Forest Lake, by the way? Okay, so we're expecting that we'll probably max out 25-ish total in that office. So we're going to do a little bit of a get-together over there soon enough. Also, Apple Valley, we have not launched our official grand opening party. We will have a lot more agents than 25 in Apple Valley. We're looking at 6,000 plus square feet. Ryan, you haven't even seen it yet. A lot of people haven't seen it yet, so Liberty hasn't been down there yet either, so I'm working with Laura on getting the whole crew together for that. All right. Amic wanted 5 minutes. You got 3? I'm just kidding. Come on up. Oh, Mike Park's in the house too. Mike Park over here from Wells Fargo. So Mike is also a great guy to know and work with. If you're going to work with the beast of Wells Fargo, he's the man. So, go ahead, Jamie.
Thanks, Mike.
You wanted this, right?
There we go. Start there. There we go. So, before we dive into a couple of things, I wanted to also I was planning more of a formal introduction since Mike stole a little bit of the thunder.
I do that.
So, all AMEC people, stand up, please. I want to at least do a kind of introduction, because many of you know, but many don't. So, again, obviously, as you guys have expanded, so have we. You got an Apple Valley location opening up, and in order for us to service the location, I need more people that can actually go to that office on a day-to-day basis. So, for many of you, and again, if you haven't met these people, obviously, we're here pretty much every day. You know, we're happy to, go out to coffee with you, get to know each other a little bit more, or just have casual conversations in the office. But, so Taryn is actually kind of right with me on a day-to-day basis. She's kind of more in my assistant role as far as helping me keep things behind the scenes moving forward. She replaced Brenda. Many of you know Brenda. Brenda's been here for almost 5 years. I know seems like it's, not been that long, but we did the math the other day, and I'm like, man, it's been 5 years effective April. So Brenda became a full-time loan officer 3 months ago. So if you need something for her to do for me, don't ask her. So she's probably not going to listen to you. That's where Taryn kind of comes into play right now as well. And again, that comes to like pre-approval letters if I'm gone, things like that. So Brenda, she's obviously just right next door to me. Andy, we're doing you last. Our newest employee, Justin, just started yesterday. Justin's going to be the face of Apple Valley. So for those of you, I don't know, do we have any Apple Valley people here today?
I don't think so.
I didn't think
At
so
home.
either.
They're watching at home.
So for those of you in Apple Valley, Justin will definitely be making his residence right next door to you there in the office. Effective probably the next 3 months. Justin comes from more of the automotive industry on the finance side of the world, so we're going to do a little bit of training and then let him go and get going in Apple Valley. And then last but not least, number one in our hearts, Andy. Andy's been here for about...
Did you say that on purpose? Okay.
Well, you know how Andy, he's a little emotional, so I want to, make sure that he doesn't feel bad. But Andy, obviously, he's been here for several years, and I know work with many of you, and also is next door to me as well. So that's our team, in case for those of you that are new and don't know. All right, thanks, guys. So Mike brought up a flyer up here. So the market demand is obviously high still. Inventory is super tight, constantly in competitive battles and multiples. Obviously, as lenders, we're trying to figure out ways to help you guys win some of those battles. So what we've brought to the table is a very streamlined way of having not only a pre-approval anymore, we're kind of taking it to the next level where it's called AMEC Express, where an actual underwriter is going to get involved at the very beginning, and within 24 hours to 48, we'll actually have an underwritten and approved file. So it's a streamlined way of getting actually an underwriter to review their credit and their income documentation. That brochure, so you've got one, obviously it'll be per loan officer. My face is not going to be on every one of them. That's going to go along with your approval letters from now on for many of the files that are getting part of this process. Now obviously this is just rolling out, so for those of you that have existing files going, maybe we don't have it quite yet, but we're working on it as far as getting them run through underwriting. Do you guys think that'll help at all? I mean, from the people we've talked to, they thought so. But so when you're talking to the sellers, knowing this going in, obviously I can hand you this flyer right here. That's more of a generic one. Feel free to pass it on again, and just explain to them the strength of the buyer that you're bringing to the table, that we're not going to have issues. It's as long as your appraisal's fine, which I kind of put the onus on the seller for that, title work as well, we're fine, we'll make the closing. This will also speed up that process as well.
So pre-underwritten buyer, that's what we're talking about. Now think about that, there's a lot of power, and this is something I was going to talk to Jamie about. One of their tactics that's been working really well in multiple offers is getting out ahead of doing more than just sending an offer over and saying, let me know if we win. So one of the things I want to talk to Jamie about, we haven't talked about this yet, is a release form that we're able to release buyer information to the seller. And what I mean by that is if I've got a 750 credit score and $30,000 in the bank, even if I'm going 5% down conventional, to be able to forward those pieces over to the seller to consider my offer, pre-underwritten, and by the way, here's the strength of my file. Those two things in concert together are dang near as good as cash.
Yeah, we're trying to get as close as cash as possible. I mean, that's really the goal here. So hopefully you guys can, again, because we're just like you, we want offers accepted. I mean, that's how we all survive. So, you need more advantage, especially with those of you on the lead team. I mean, it's just it's a competitive world out there. Every property, every offer you make, you're trying to put your best foot forward. Yeah.
How soon do you close after we have that?
So right now, probably about 2 weeks, because appraisals are being done in less than a week. I mean, and again, markets, as you all know, I mean, it's just now kind of starting to pick the volume back up. But our underwriting turn times are 24 hours right now. In fact, sometimes the same day. Summertime, springtime, that'll obviously get delayed usually. I always say, give us. Well, we've got one closing tomorrow that was less than 10 days. So I always say 3 weeks is always kind of the norm on a very smooth file.
Can we get next day closing? Can we get that? Can we work
Talk
on that?
to your regulators
there we go.
and
Okay,
see
we'll
if
do
they
that.
allow us to close in less than 7 days. And if you can get that through, then we'll make it happen, I guess. Okay, so that's AMEC Express. Many of you have seen this or heard about this. Rates. What's going on in the world? So interest rates are indeed going up, actually. We've been talking about this for years. This is a brief snapshot over the last year and a half, and what this simply means is down is not good, up is good. So So if you go back a year and a half ago,
Just 6 months.
am I in 6 months? Oh, sorry. Let me do a year and a half. Here we go. This even makes it look, well, not as good. So a year and a half ago, this is where mortgage-backed securities were selling. And again, all this means to you is rates were low. Because again, high is good in here. We were probably in the low to mid threes back in here. This is after the election. You saw tons of money move to the stock market. And then we kind of have stayed steady. And now you see kind of this last 3-4 weeks trend. So this kind of a move is probably anywhere from 3/8 to a half a point when it comes to rates. And the reason a lot of this is happening is obviously, again, the stock market's doing well. Investors are feel very safe to dump money in there. They can get much higher returns than they can on a 3%, 3.5% return on a mortgage-backed security. Because again, if you're only charging a buyer 4%, the investor's making 3%. So once you go through all the cost breakdown of what's the return is. So again, obviously, if you've got people on the fence, I mean, we're not making this stuff up, and I can send this to you if you'd like.
Why don't we do this? Why don't you send it to us and we'll post it out?
Yep, there you go. So this is what we watch all day and every day. So again,
no life whatsoever.
and Mike, I know you agree. Yeah, we have no life. This is all we do. Couple other small things I want to touch on. USDA, for those of you who do a lot of rural development, their territories are changing here in about 4 to 5 months. So they're talking about Buffalo, Monticello no longer being eligible. So if you got buyers in that area, make sure they get on it.
Can you get that sent out to them too? Because we do a lot up on our end.
USDA, yep. North Branch up in that way is kind of being affected. So that's being discussed about being removed.
So for that, we'll
So-
that with the group.
Yep.
I suppose Chisago and Lindstrom then too?
Yeah, I haven't heard about those two, just North Branch. They come out with proposed changes. They don't necessarily go into effect. We've heard this before, but there's a strong likelihood unless we see it. Okay, so Mike said I got to keep it rolling. I'm not going to go over the rest I had, but I'll get that sent over to you.
Yep.
Go from there.
Now, what I'm going to say is this, guys. So we do in-depth financing training in here a couple times a year. That's coming up again, and I've had agents go, "Why do I care? I don't care about lending. Why is that going to help me?" It helps you a lot. Having really good conversations with people and showing your knowledge on financing, being able to vet lenders when you hear something that doesn't sound right, and be able to have a basic conversation on how financing works, strengthens your position with your buyers. I can't tell you how many houses I sold in my career just being able to talk financing at a higher level than talk to your lender, because that's generally what you hear. I don't know, that's not me, talk to your lender. No, I'm going to talk to you. You're going to get some good information and good guidelines to go back to your lender and ask these questions, and you would be surprised how many buyers cling to you more than their lender. By the way, in lending, do you think there's a lot of relationship building in lending? To be honest with you, their front-end relationship building is about that long. For us, how long is it sometimes of building relationships before we actually work with the client? It can be a long time. You're their trusted advisor. If you keep shipping them elsewhere to say, you know, I don't really know, just talk to so-and-so, you're losing places to insert value right there. Financing is a great tool for you. So we're going to end up doing on one of our RGU classes coming up in February, in-depth look at financing. Okay, moving on. Inman Connect. I want to give a couple highlights of what we heard at the conference. We're going to dig deeper into this stuff. I just want to give you sort of the bullet points right now. How many people love real estate technology? Like you love it so much you can't wait to get up in the morning and play with it, right? So here's the thing about technology. Technology isn't a matter of whether it's a necessity anymore. It isn't a matter of whether you need it. It's a matter now of optimizing it. If you're still on the fence of do I go this route, you're already 10 years behind. Now it's about optimization and implementation. If you're not on that bandwagon, anybody hear of a little company called Redfin? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
What's their claim to fame? Why do people go there over Realtor.com or some other place? The person without a real estate license just gave me the right answer. They have a feature on their website. Anybody know what the feature is? To schedule a showing, click here. Year after year, 35% growth or more attributed to that main feature. to bypass all the rigmarole, to just be able to hit a button and not request. They're not requesting a showing. It's a schedule a showing. That's their claim to fame. One piece of technology, $2.2+ billion company, built on their tech. If we're not looking at real estate technology right now, we are missing the boat. So how many people in the room right now? Yes.
So they schedule showing, how do they get into the property? Is it with the listing agent there, or?
That's the beauty of it. The listing agent's picking up the lead, or whatever person is buying that lead source. So like Realtor.com, if I'm gonna buy an area or zip code, I'm not necessarily the listing agent, but I'm getting the lead to show the house and then further, build the relationship and sell them a house, whether that one or a different one. But Redfin's figured out a way to bypass all of that and get right to inside the house.
So it's just like if they were on showing time, they saw property, all they do is just.
It's virtually a public domain of scheduling showing like showing time. Same thing. Yep. Wonderful concept. Really is. So here's the thing. I can't remember the stat on it. I think it was like 41% the people, that's when they go on there. 41+%. That's the one reason they go on there. It's a great property finder. Like HomeSnap and HomeSpotter and some of these other places. They've got good features for finding homes. But it's that scheduling app is why they're really, really good. Guess who's going to be building that kind of thing into our single property listing sites right now, by the way? Yeah, we're building that in. When I say single property listing site, how many people don't know what that is? Be honest. If you don't know what it is. Okay. So what we're building right now on our properties is multiple lead generators. We've got our 1-800 number called Capture. That's been an excellent lead source. The next thing we're building in is going to be single property sites. So a big sign to schedule a showing, visit www.123mainstreet.com. They go on there, they see the landing page, which is a landing page. Now we're able to see how many people logged on there so we can retarget them through additional ad campaigns, either through social media or outside of social media. How many people play solitaire or something and all of a sudden, boom, there's a Realty Group ad that came up in your solitaire app. Happens along all the time. So that tells you how much solitaire he plays. So what we're doing, we're able to do that just to retarget them, but we also have the call to action. And the call to action is to schedule a showing, click here. Once they do that, now we're really capturing them as a lead. So for those of us,
mobile friendly too.
yes, mobile friendly.
Driving by will.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think we're gonna do non-mobile friendly from like the desktop of 2001, Tom. That's the direction we're gonna go.
Good idea, Mike.
Perfect. Yes. So that is something that that we are hearing a lot about is the tech optimization, not implementation. Not should we use it. It's about optimization. So Hunter, what's some other notes we got on Inman? I'll let you take that.
So the gist of Inman, as Mike brought up, was optimization of technology, but also what we're hitting when we hit people, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's...
Because we don't hit people unless we have to.
Okay. That's Mike's department. So what we got, a lot of, and let me bring my notes up real quick.
So one thing I'm gonna talk about, one big message you got at Inman was how to engage with people on social media. We all know that we should be on Facebook, but there was a level of engagement that worked very, very well through one popular source. And what they were saying is, don't just comment in or like people's stuff on Facebook.
Yep.
You know, for example, if somebody has a question, what's your favorite place to eat in Minneapolis? Don't just say Fogo de Chao. That's common what people are doing, just non-engaging responses. But to be able to say, look, it's Fogo de Chao, and here's why. I like this, and that. The level of engagement that draws people in, you start speaking, and then not to one person, but an entire group. So that was one concept that we got out of there, is adding actual engagement that is interesting to people online. If you're not interesting, you're losing people. If you're not engaging, you're losing people.
So what that speaks to is the difference between acknowledgement and engagement, and that was a major topic at Inman, because what we do on social media, there's two things that are very important. One, when you're using social media for our business, don't spread yourself so thin that you're trying to hit everyone. Pick your one social media avenue and master it.
Deep dive it.
Completely deep dive, immerse yourself in. If that's going to be Facebook, if that's going to be Instagram, if that's going to be Twitter, if that's, whatever social media you do, make a singular one yours. The other thing is the difference between engagement and acknowledgement. You see a post that you like and you hit like on it. That is that is nothing to do with engagement. That is just purely acknowledging that you saw it. Engagement is like what Mike said, it's talking to people within the post. Part of what we talked about at Inman though is, hey, I put out a post, I've got 35 people that commented on it, I can't engage with all 35 people. You don't have to. You have to engage with 10%, 15% of the people on there, because what's important is not specifically your words when it's that many people, it's the fact that you engaged with some of
They
the
take
people.
it as a group, like, as long as you're responding to the group, they're taking it as they're being responded to themselves. So that was one test subject that was out there. One thing they were really polling was, you know, do I need to, if I'm the CEO, for example, of a large corporation, and people know who I am, if I'm Steve Jobs and I throw something out there in the universe, I got 10,000 people commenting and talking to me and asking me questions. I can't respond to that many people. However, if I respond to a select few, but my responses are engaging, thought-provoking, interesting, they all take it, even though it wasn't my post I got responded to, or my comment, it was somebody else's, I'm part of the group. So I still feel like I'm being spoken to. That was one big takeaway on social media.
Yep. Another one was analysis paralysis, which is something that most people likely have heard of. It's inactivity because you just can't stop thinking about it. You can't get it out of your head. You can't stop overanalyzing it. So what ends up happening is you don't move forward. You don't communicate. You don't go for it because you can't get out of your own head.
So I do want to say this too, just on the engagement piece. If somebody was going to go into a high-end restaurant, let's say, you know, you guys walk into a high-end restaurant, Hunter's your waiter, and he comes over and you say, what do you prefer, the steak or the chicken, the beef or the chicken? And he goes, I really like the beef. That's an acknowledgement piece. I really like the beef because here's how it's prepared. Here's the cut it's from. Here's the special organic farm that the meat came from. All of a sudden now it becomes informative, it becomes engaging and interesting. So think about that when you're communicating with people online. Don't just do the bare minimum, step it up. Okay.
Another thing that we got that was very important, and this was throughout the entire conference, is your goals. Now, we all talk about goals consistently and generally talk about metric-based goals, KPIs, things that we can track, things that are numbers on a spreadsheet. But another way that we really were exposed to on this is make your goals transformational, not metric-based. Make them something that transforms where you're at or who you are.
So think of it this way: one of the higher graded personal trainers online, this is where this idea came from, doesn't talk to you about the number of pounds you're going to lose or the strength you're going to gain. What she talks about is the transformation you're about to take place working with her. So it's about the whole holistic experience, not a number-driven metric. That right there has created inside of her business, you know, a huge influx of business, and people are sharing that. So to relate that to real estate, talking only about, you know, how much money you're going to get from working with me as a listing agent, or what the you know, what the benefit of working with me as a buyer's agent, that's not resonating with people. What's resonating is the experience of working with me, the experience of the transaction. That's what this personal trainer has really captured, and that's what's resonating with people right now.
Empathy and connection.
Yep.
Another main point they've made is when you are putting out content, when you're communicating, if you do not have empathy and connection, then you're not actually putting out content, and you're not actually connecting with people. Buzzwords are not content. Real estate speak is not content. It's the items that get people to connect. If we're not even talking about business, we're not talking about anything that has to do with making money, but what you would talk to a friend about on a Saturday over coffee, the things that mean something to you, are exactly the type of things that produce good communication and allow people to see who you are, not just what you do.
So it goes back a little bit to what we've been focusing on a lot is find your why and start with why. Okay, when you start with why, you're not talking about what a great, you know, service you provide for your buyers. I'm really good with buyers. You know, I sell this many homes to buyers every year. Here's their overall savings. Yada yada yada. It doesn't really resonate. Why are you good with buyers? I've got a passion. This is my mission. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. And here's the result of that. My buyers have benefited because of this. Would you like to buy with me? There's a rhythm and a flow to that, but it starts with the connectivity of the why I do this, more than this is the metrics of my performance.
Last piece, don't let your past influence your future more than it needs to. things that happen in the past to you, whether they be positive or negative, are not always indicative of your future. You control your future.
So yeah, what it's basically saying is don't let your past experiences and your worldview limit your potential for growth in the future, right? This is something that, and it's actually a great objection way to handle objections with somebody that listed with an agent and their house expired. You know, don't let and now they're for sale by owner. Don't let your experience of the past limit your growth and your potential in the future. Let's isolate that one bad experience and move forward from that. And we do that in real estate all the time. I tried this campaign, it didn't work. I called this lead and I said this or that, it didn't work. And they're done with it. They washed their hands of it. Definitely what you don't want to do. Now with Inman, the tech pieces, because a lot of it is technology driven, some of the things that are coming down the line, who's familiar with Hello Alex right now? Anyone? Okay, so Hello Alex is an AI driven response center for your leads that you're either purchasing or that go through the system. Yes?
Dumb person, what's an AI?
That would be artificial intelligence, or what we call Balzer, same kind of thing. So anyway, the AI can basically hold a conversation up to 6 levels deep with somebody without your intervention. It's going to be, you know, text driven, so there's no voice to it, but basically, you know, hey, I'm interested in XYZ Main Street, what's the price? The price is X, is that the price range you're looking in? No, not really, it's a little high. It's going to have a response built in for that. 6 levels deep until it has to flag talking to a human if it can't answer something. Usually it's going to be for off hours, or it's just going to be, you know, gearing up those that are serious to actually talk to you, and then it's going to deliver it to you. So, you know, I would like to see the house, or, you know, I'm interested in XYZ Main Street. Now it's 10 o'clock at night. Great. Would you like to see it? Yeah, tomorrow at noon would be awesome. Would be great. Awesome. We'll get that scheduled for you. I'll be in contact with you in the morning. Now it did this without your labor. You didn't have to do anything. It's all set up. Then it flags you to say you have to call so and so about a showing tomorrow at noon. So it's doing all the front end work for you. Hello Alex is going to be big. Who's familiar with Call Action? Jesse Bodine, the founder of Call Action, great guy. Long and I spent the weekend with him in San Diego 2 weeks ago, and he's with us in Inman. He'll be in here at some point, but Call Action is another lead capture platform that's going to be text driven or phone call driven at the property. So it's like ProQuest with a lot more function and capability to do different things.
It's even better than that because you can integrate any type of video texting that you'd like as well. So they actually go many levels deeper than we currently have available at the brokerage.
Yep.
With much greater pre-built software.
So what we're doing is we're integrating Call Action with our Listings Plus program. Who does not know what a Listings Plus program is? We got a lot of new faces in here. Okay, so Listings Plus, what that really is we handle a lot of the lead generation on your listing to give right back to you at no cost. I mean, you prepay for it up front, but we don't charge you a commission split on whether you sell it or not. Okay.
Let's
Yes.
go back to that. Does the buyer think that he's talking to me or talking to Hello Alex?
They think they're talking to you.
Okay, so I'm identified. Very
That's the
good.
beauty of it. They even have little typos in their messages to make it look like a human. They got it down.
Wow.
Okay, so yes.
I just wanted to bring something up that from earlier too. Is there any way, like, maybe we could add on to our, like maybe one of our weekly trainings on social media? Because I keep hearing different things, like, because it's changing so frequently.
For you, absolutely not. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so we are actually going to be doing more social media training, but beyond that, I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do in our marketing department because it's a beast. Social media is an absolute beast. But to do it, here's a little KPI for you that I would say is definitely recommended. 10-10-10 rule, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 in the evening to get on social media and engage with people. Not to look for your friends what they had for dinner last night. No, to actually get in, look for reasons and ways to carry the conversation offline. That's what you're really looking for. You're going to do some posting, but what you want to do is look for reasons to call people. Stephanie, I saw online that your son graduated college. You know, what's the next step? You know, where's he going to work? What's going on? Congratulations. Let's catch up and grab some coffee. Birthdays, anniversaries, sympathies. You know, somebody lost a dog, text them. Don't just say sorry on Facebook. You know, take it outside of social media. That's what the exercise really is. To answer your question, yes, we do training on social media. We got about 10,000 topics people want to cover, so we can only do, you know, a certain amount, but we put it in line, it's in queue.
In particular, what Hunter had brought up about, you know, stick to one. Well, have done very well with Facebook.
Yep.
But now I've been hearing a lot of my younger.
Instagram's killing it right now.
Yeah, and that's
Yep.
everybody, oh, I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not
Instagram's
on
killing it. So we
Period.
got, Instagram has got 800+ million people a day on it. Okay, it's nowhere near what Facebook is, but it is a growing demographic. So who knows what Hootsuite is? Hootsuite. Kelly's like, what? So Hootsuite is a way that you can post in one place and it platforms it out. It'll basically put it in 3 or 4 different spots. So you're managing in one spot, but it's dispersing others. So that's a good one too.
What was that called?
Hootsuite, H-O-O-T, suite. All right. So some other technology coming out of this, guys. I think. So some other technology coming out of this, guys, is also going to be something I'm excited about. Is if we can get this to work out price-wise, I think we can by summer. Is Real Scout. Real Scout to me is going to be huge because it is a database for all of our buyers. When we do our networking meetings, every 2 or 3 weeks a deal is put together in our networking meetings. So imagine having a database of all our buyers' needs. That's nice, organized, and a place you can go in there and search. Every time you have a listing opportunity, you go into the database and say, look, we've got 22 buyers right now that are geared up for a house just like this. Imagine you're at a listing presentation and you're in competition. I say, Tom, I tell you what, just to let you know, for your home right now, yes, we have 33 buyers that fit your profile right now in our company alone. You're playing matchmaker before it ever even hits the market. So, the other thing about that is we also are vetting out, where's Dan? It's down here. We're also vetting out a non-MLS database for our listings, for our sellers. So a non-MLS database for sellers and a database for buyers under contract that haven't bought yet, all in-house. That's coming by the end of, I'm hoping by the end of Q2, we'll have all that ironed out. So for those that are thinking about how does that help me, how can that benefit me? So imagine if we have a database right now with 65 sellers that are about to come on in the next few months, and details of what they want for the house, what the house metrics are, and you're going, I've got tight inventory. I can't find my buyers a place. Boom, there's one right there. So we're going to be pulling from a lot of different data sources. Pinnacle right now is killing it on ZBuyer, and every week I'm hearing about more ZBuyer opportunity where people are saying, yes, I would sell a house, but here's what I want. Just bring me a buyer when you find one. We're putting the database together to house that. Any questions on that? Okay, moving forward. I'll try to go fast because we're a little behind schedule here. Listing Agent Bootcamp coming up in Denver through Club Wealth. If you're not signed up yet, do so. Who was at the last one? Shane, you were. How awesome was it?
Very awesome.
So we got Listing Agent, you were at BSM, you weren't even at the bootcamp. So Listing Agent Bootcamp is coming up. We'll get the link out for that. One thing I got to cover right now is going to be our ever kind of popular, you probably heard about it, every year we give away a car to somebody that wins the contest for recruiting. Long as you don't want to talk about that.
Every year?
Every year.
This was the first year.
But it's going forward every year.
All right, so I know we're running out of time, but before I do that, I want to cover some, I'm the tracking guy, right? So I got some good stats and data to share with you guys for 2017. So in 2017, in Minnesota, there's 24,801 licensed real estate professionals. Of that, just under 6,000 have their broker license, and there's about 4,000 brokerages out there, so a lot of mom and pop shop too. So there are 18,000 MOS users. These will be your actively practicing real estate, because some put back on the ice. And we closed Minnesota 87,000 transactions last year, 87,107 to be exact. That's an average of 4.8 closing per agent per year. We actually went up from 2016. That's 4.6. We went to 4.7, 4.8. So anyway, but here's a cool thing for you guys to see where you're at compared to your people out there. If you do 19 or more transaction closing a year, you're in the top 10% in Minnesota. Okay, 19%, 19 or more. By the way, the top 10% close 76% of the business. So the other 90% are fighting for the other 24% that's left. Pretty crazy, right? If you do 31 or more, you're top 5%. 39 or more, you're top 3. 45 or more, you're top 2. And 55 or more, you're top 1%. So here's what I want to share about Realty Group. We closed as a company a little over 1,300 transactions for $303 million. Okay, But sitting with us now, meaning a few of you guys just joined us that had closed transactions with other brokerages, but here with us now, Realty Group as a group, we closed last year almost 1,600 transactions and just under 2% market share of the entire state, this little Realty Group. So we're growing, so I'm excited. That's pretty cool. But for 380 million almost, that's what we did as a group. But here's where Mike had touched on this being that the 100% plus program. These are all the candidates for 100% plus program. 30 of our agents. So 15% of our agents are in the top 10% of the state. Okay, so we have very high producing agents. But top 2% Tiffany Greener, top 3% Beth, top 5 we got Brandon Vasquez, Justin Moody, Brian Weinzettel, and top 10%, I'm going to go through this list real fast. All these people are candidates for our 100% plus program. Tam Lee, Mark Hrunsky, Brian Roeder, Rachel Pope, Melissa Zunika, Soye, Chase Beanie, Amanda Smock, Meg Johnson, Jesse Varela, Jamie Rooney, Mai Miller, Stephanie Arneson, Angela Christensen, Mike Zong, Doug Thurston, Jennifer Viet, Bruce Lindholm, Becky, Ray Stanger, I see you over there, Ray, Pang, Scott Manning, Cy Vang, Dan Bolter. These are all 100% plus candidates, so there's 30 of them here. So here's some quick stats I want to show you guys. Do I have that up? I'll breeze through really fast because we're out of time, but I think it's important to share with you guys. So you guys see is last year we closed 61,168. So the highest we've done in the last 15 years, this by the way came from, I have to give credit, David Arbit with the Minneapolis Area Association. 61,180. We're only 12 closings short of being back to the most closing in the Twin City, by the way. This is Twin City, not the state, right? That's why the number's different than 87,000. So that's pretty exciting. I'm just going to hit some highlight here. Let's combine days in the market median. Does everybody know the difference between median and averages? Okay, median's half above, half below, average is the average, right? 27 days compared to 2008, which is 117. Median sales price went up though. We're the highest it's been in the last 15 years, or actually pretty much forever now, 246,000. Okay, the highest back then was 2006 at 230. List price in the Twin City, you get about pretty much 100%, 99.4. Okay, and the highest was back in 99.2 back in 2003, 2004. This is where a bunch of people are seeing really slow for January. Look at that, you guys. December inventory active listing only 6,800 versus 28,000 back in 2007. Absorption rate, you guys know what that is, right? 1.3 months, all the inventory will be gone if there's nothing new comes out, versus 8 times that in 2007, 8.3 months. Square footage has been going up, 1861 now on the average. Jamie was talking about this a little bit earlier too, with the rate. You know, interest rate still low because out of $246,000 median price, only costs you about $1,500 for that home. So you see there's still a gap there because interest rate's still low, right? And I would do is I'll post this link so you guys can read it close. I'm just hitting some highlights because we're running out of time here. Okay, for those who want to focus on luxuries, which we talk about is 1 million plus, only 600 transactions was closed all of last year. Not a lot out of 61,000, but that's still the highest in the last 15 years. So we're getting a lot of executives that are moving to Twin Cities because of the Fortune 500 we have here. Okay. Cash deal is kind of unique. 12.5% of all the transactions are cash, but for the 500 plus, the cash is like 15%. They're buying in cash on a So people have money actually taking advantage of what's going on out there. New construction, I know Mike touched on that a little bit. New construction, 7.43% in Twin Cities. That's of new construction. REO, you guys know I used to do a lot of REOs. 4.4% of all closing were REOs only. Whereas 2009, 10, and 11, it was like 50% of all closing were bank owned. Townhome condo inching back up, 1 of every 4. So in 2006 it was almost 1 of every 3. So if you're not learning or knowing about how condo and townhome work with different type of stuff, make sure you guys are catching on to that. And the last thing I'm going to share, and I'll talk about what Mike brought me up to talk about, and we'll be done here, is this is pretty cool. We are #1 in the metropolitan area in unemployment rate, the lowest in the country. Right? That's why we're seeing a lot of people moving here, and because of the economy. So #1, guys. So that's some stat I'm going to share. The other thing that I want to talk about is the contest. So we have a website that should be up and running shortly. It's www.rgcontest.com. So we wanted to make it really easy for you guys, just to refer an agent there, and then they click on that, and now they know who referred. That way you don't have to go back and tally up later, he said, she said, right? It's all in there. So on there is also terms and conditions. So everyone knows, transparent, how the rule works. But I'll hit on a few highlights. So you guys know it's a 3-year luxury car lease, BMW, right? So $650 per month. And then we put down about $2,000 for taxes and license.
Nobody
get it
even
all started.
smiled at that. It's like you didn't
Yeah.
even want the car.
Well, today you're like, well, who want to drive a convertible
What's that?
BMW?
Do they make minivans, like cars?
Yeah. Now here's the one thing we added, because just in case you never know, let's say if you win and you can't qualify for the lease because the lease be under your name, right? We pay, we reimburse you. So we have, or you just don't want to pay all those big taxes, or you just got something against BMW. I don't know. Right? Or you don't want your ex-wife or ex-husband to know, hey, why are you driving the nice car? I need to get more money for child support. No, I don't know.
That's definitely Long's problem.
So you have an alternative for you. You can go back to the year before, the price we have that Stephanie won is all-inclusive vacation, okay, and that's worth about $6,000. So you have the option to say, I want the car or I want this.
I thought we were doing a vacation to Duluth. No.
Yeah, that's true. But so a couple real quick. When you go on there, you click on there, you'll see all the rules. But really, at the end of the day, we just want you to refer us an agent you think would fit who we are, right? And then we get a chance to sit down and talk to them. So as long as they meet with one of us here, you qualify. Your name goes in. They don't even have to transfer, because we have the right to also say yes or no to them. So even if we say no, but you refer us, the agent, you still get your name in the contest. Does that make sense? So they don't have to be transferred here, as long as they kept a meeting with one of us. We just want to have the opportunity to share a realty group and to learn more about them, because we have said no to many agents, right? But you're still going to get the credit. So, and then the contest, drawing will be held. Put this on your book if you don't already. A lot of you guys had fun in the last few years, right? This next one, December 7th.
Yeah, and because of we went broke on the last one, so this year's at Chuck E. Cheese. So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
So December 7th, so make sure you put that on your calendar. We're going to find a venue and announce that more. But the website is going to be where everything will be posted. And we'll have that up live so that your transition, your referral will be really easy and can be tracked.
Okay, last thing, guys, and this is the thing I'm super excited about. So I tease everybody because for the last 3.5 years, we've been training people how to do stuff, and yet nobody implements it. I shouldn't say nobody, but many people don't implement. They come to training, they don't implement. So to solve that problem, finally we said, well, you know what? We'll implement for you, or we'll at least help you implement. So we created our own internal marketing department to do so. Now, when I say marketing, that's really only a part of what we do. Really what it is, it's project management and marketing and lead generation through business activity. So what we're going to do is I'm going to explain the different levels and some of the different activities that we are going to be doing. So our tier 1 or bronze platform, what it really looks like, and think about what you can use this for. Simple sphere of influence, because every time I ask somebody in here, where'd you get it? And they say sphere of influence, and the follow-up question is, do you have a system for that, or is it just go to, when you have time? Most of the time it's reactive, which is great, but I want to be able to give you this number right now. Out of 100 people that you know, if they're in your sphere of influence, they each know 3 people that will move this year. 40 to 50% will buy and sell. We're talking about 400 plus transactions in a 100-person sphere of influence. Anybody sell 400 sphere homes last year? Anyone? No? And the reason why is because you're not unlocking that potential. So we're going to help you do so with sphere of influence. Geofarming. Who's running a super successful geofarming campaign right now? Tiffany Greener was running just some direct mail, got 3 transactions last year. Anybody else doing geofarming? Okay, so how about lifestyle farming? Anybody know what that is? Do you know that we can actually hit people up that are growing their families and they're needing more space, or they're downsizing, or they are corporate relocation, anything that's lifestyle driven? we can market and we can target them. How about circle prospecting? You may know what circle prospecting is. Okay, so for those that don't, you get a listing, or RG as a whole gets a listing. We can market within a 5 block, 6 block, a mile, 2 mile radius. We can market for that. So what does that look like? If I've got a listing, or I'll use myself getting a listing, that's not happening anymore. So we use Durkin. Durkin's got a listing. I know that's rare too. So what we do is we can take that listing, we can feed a custom audience into Facebook of 2 miles around that house. We can market and retarget that audience.
Okay,
So-
what does market mean?
So what it
I've got
means
one
is-
coming up in Rhode Island, and Champlin by the end of this week.
So what I can do is I can take that listing, we can throw that listing out with all the proper updates to the whole neighborhood.
Are we calling, are we mailing?
Facebook. So what we're doing is we're starting with the layers. It could be Facebook marketing and retargeting in conjunction with direct mail, in conjunction with other types of marketing too. So I'm going to get into the whole thing. We're into layered marketing, not just doing one thing. So let me kind of run you through the menu.
One listing of the year. I mean,
Yeah, you gotta make the most of it, right? Okay, so your tier 1 will get you likely call action. And again, call action is a great lead generator, and it's going to be a great way to capture people that inquire on your listings. By the way, when you're talking about people to list their home, everybody's got great marketing, right? Here's how I want to market your home. Is anybody talking about their back end? What happens when an inquiry is made? How are you capturing? What's your response time? And what is your close rate of somebody that wants to look at that seller's home? Call action is going to help you with that. ProQuest, you're going to get ProQuest. You're going to get the call capture on top of call action. You're going to get direct mail campaigning. So what direct mail campaigning is, you're going to say, I want 6 months, a year, however long, I just want it set up on autopilot that we're going to set this up for you to direct mail to that audience. Template design, so meaning that you'll pick from 1 of 5 or 10 templates. Say, I want my look to look like this, just insert my logo and my name, and we launch it for you. Landing page with pricing widgets. So what I mentioned about having the ability to go onto landing page and say, what's my home worth? We'll have that, as well as landing pages for the property, that subject property, if they want to schedule a showing. We'll have that. Why is it important to have a landing page? Well, we want them to be able, we want to track that they were there. And we want to track that, who they were, and be able to contact them to work with them in the future. So that's basic tier 1 for Facebook, okay? Tier 2 gets all that with running your entire listings to leads campaign. There's 12 points on listings to leads that you'll have to do if you're doing it all yourself, and it's going to take time and it's going to be management to do so. We'll run it for you. E-campaign, we can do the same campaign on Facebook, and now we can do the same thing, maybe with a little bit different messaging on it or graphics on it. That'll be an email campaign to the same people. Slide out campaign or slide broadcast will set you up on slide broadcast to be able to do messaging to that audience. Layered, okay? Facebook, email, phone messaging. Direct mail campaign, I already said that. And with Silver, with the Silver or Tier 2, we actually help you craft the messaging. We'll sit down with you on a consulting basis and give you guidelines on what we think you should do. Then we got the big one. Oh wait, got to get the Silver add-on. So the add-ons on is we can help you with logo creation. On Tier 2, we'll actually help you design a logo if you haven't. We'll set up your new headshots. I love looking at our website and seeing somebody from like 25 years ago that, out in a horse pasture or something going, and that's a real estate, headshot. We're going to help you set up new headshots too. Video messaging. So we're going to give you, with that platform, the media room to do a certain number of video messages, canned responses, and or part of your ad campaign. And the other thing we're building in, we don't have it ready yet, eventually it'll be an ISA for those leads. So you won't even have to set your own appointments with the leads they generate until they become appointments. Okay. Platinum. This is the big one. So up till now, it's been mostly template design. Pick, we'll basically have a website out there. Pick which one you want, click on it, and we'll put your stuff on it. Platinum is going to allow for a lot more custom design. It's going to be a lot more expensive because we got to start from scratch on everything. But it'll have for teams or people that are going to do a lot of branding, that's what you probably want to do. What we've got is we're also going to add in predictive analytics. So in your GeoFarm, we're able to tell who's most likely to sell. We've all heard of that one company out there that does that. Anybody want to say the name?
SmartZip.
SmartZip, right? Not a lot of great activity with SmartZip. Nobody's really killing it that I know with SmartZip. But SmartZip also has one layer of marketing really. They're basically identifying who it is and they're sending some Facebook ads out there. I don't know what their landing pages look like. I don't know what their messaging looks like. And I don't know if the agents are even following up. So we're trying to take the predictive analytics with a lot more consultation and a lot more coaching on what to do with it. Okay. So as I mentioned, custom landing pages, custom logos, custom graphics for the ads. So when you're doing Facebook advertising, having it look like everybody else is not what we're going to do. You'll have your own branded ads, so they'll look different. Event marketing. So if you're going to do geofarming or sphere of influence, you're going to want to add in events to that. We're going to help you with the event marketing and the schedule of when to start doing your invitations and what to do first through last. Ad roll retargeting, so outside of social media. That's where we're taking it on the platinum level, outside of social media as well. Full campaign messaging build out. We work with you on all the messaging for all the campaigning. Website and social media revamp. I'm working with Bruce on a platform right now to be able to do this. So we're gonna be able to go into your website and say, look, you know, your hair is literally 6 inches shorter than it is in this picture. This was taken 25 years ago. Let's actually get things looking right. So we're going to be able to search across 75 different points looking for inconsistencies on search engines, your website, your social media, or anything else that's out there. And here's the other thing, looking at your social proof, another thing we did not talk about from Inman. The big thing this year is companies that don't have social proof are failing right now. Yes?
Can I ask, okay, so I know you got the tiers and I don't know what the price is, but what happens if you have a team? You pay for one price?
Have a what?
A team, so you pay for one price per team, or is it just each person on your team has to?
If it's going to be shared, like, you know, it's going to be basically by the template. So, you know, if you're looking for this many different templates, it's going to be priced per the template. If it's all custom, it'll be priced custom by the hour. So depending, it doesn't matter how many people on your team, it matters what you're purchasing, really. So
it could be like a la carte?
Yeah, it is to a point, right? So I mean, if you're saying, I want 3 landing pages, 4 different ads, and 2 different logos created, we price it, whether it's an individual or a team, we're pricing it by the item, is what we're doing. Okay, next. So we're going to help with your finding those inconsistencies online and helping you fix them. And we do that for you rather than you have to figure it out yourself. All we're trying to do is take the labor intensity out of this project. As I said in the beginning of this, for 3 years I've been telling people what to do and watching the lack of implementation. Why? Because you get a call from a buyer and you're running out the door to go show the house rather than working on your business to get things looking right. We just said we're going to bridge the gap and help do it for you if you so choose. By the way, guys, this is not mandatory. Nobody has to do this. This is an investment in your business that we're giving you the platform to do so. Then we got I think that's it. Okay, so the difference really between the platinum and the silver was we got a couple add-ons. That's what I missed is the add-ons. 1 second. Okay, here they are. So logo creations is going to be an add-on. The new headshot's an add-on. Custom graphics. Open house revamp is another thing. We're going to help you put together the massive open house platform that we've all seen the videos on. Help you with, and panel signs. With Platinum, we're going to be looking at helping you create your own personalized panel signs, open house signs, coming soon signs, and using those for massive open house platforms as well, so you can start getting in 50 to 75 people per open house. That's the rundown of it. We're still working out a couple of the pricing details, but we are taking in our first people this week. If you want to sit down and do a consultation, it runs through Tabitha. But and I will warn you on this is never going to be set up to push a button and be out the next day. There's going to be a 2 or 3 week onboarding process to this while we're creating things, making sure things make sense, test it out for you, then we launch. So we can start working on it now, but it won't go out till March. But that's why you want to do it. You want to start now. Now we're working with graphic design. We're working with large data entry. We're working with copyright. We're working with different individuals on this team that are pros in those areas. So we're not just coming up with stuff out of the thin blue air. This is stuff that we got high-level professionals on. All right. Any questions before we let out? Nothing? We good then? I think we're good, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.